Well, hey, G Holla, G dot Holla.
Girl, Ge Holla. Charlamagne the God here, man. Salute to you. Okay.
Shout out to Ge Holla, reaching 1 million listeners on his podcast.
Hey, a shout out to Ge Holla.
All y'all said entertainers, shout out my guy Ge Holla on my Celebrity Life podcast.
It's your girl Cynthia Bailey from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I'm sending a shout out to Ge Holla.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, all my brothers and sisters in the hood and the streets right now. This is the time for you to definitely link in and tap in. You got somebody that look like you. You know what I'm saying? Coming up with some good ancient wisdom and knowledge right now. Hey, this brother is a best-selling author of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. Now, I know some of y'all don't know what that is, but we're going to get into it. Just stick with me. Bear with me. Mr. Carson is also an expert host on the new original streaming series Gaia. And for those of you all don't know, that's one of the most ancient words for Earth. And named Deep Space. The series is an exploration of the secret space program. See, y'all only thought it was just one NASA. There you go. I did too for a long time. I didn't know they had a second NASA out there going on. And this brother is just amazing. We're going to get into a little bit of his story. But right now, if you all can, please put your hands, your hearts, your minds, your souls together for Mr. Billy Carson. How you doing, my
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for being a little patient with me. Running a little bit behind, but we're on here now, man. I'm looking forward to this.
Hey, me too, absolutely. I appreciate you. I got to put that universe in the back there.
Yeah,
Making some
there you go. Nice.
Okay. I appreciate you. Mr. Carson, for the people that we want our audience to get to know you, can you tell us where are you from originally and what's your background as you were growing up?
Yeah. So originally I was born in Queens, New York. So I'm from Queens. Left there as a very small child though. So left Queens in 1977, went down to Opelika in Miami, a little city in Miami called Opelika. And just really, got into aerospace technology, reading that in encyclopedias when I saw something in my backyard that didn't look like an airplane. And so this object was strange. It was weird. It didn't have a cockpit, didn't have a tail, didn't have wings. And I knew what an airplane looked like, and just didn't look like it. It didn't move like an airplane. So I went to my school, Rainbow Park Elementary, started researching aerospace inside of the Encyclopedia Britannicus. And then I literally became like an amateur aerospace historian because I was trying to find what I saw, and I just couldn't find it. But it took me down a whole nother level of research and investigation into aerospace and aerospace technology, which became one of my specialties early on. Much later in life, I was able to correlate what I saw and what I had seen in some of these aerospace books and aeronautics books. I was able to correlate some of that to some texts that I was reading in ancient tablets, ancient scriptures, cylinder scrolls, papyruses, which were describing the same exact type of vehicles. And so I started trying to paint a picture. Could these be the same types of technologies that were used in the super deep antiquity? And I come up to the hypothesis based on circumstantial evidence that we did have these levels of technology in the ancient past, and we're now just rediscovering them in this cycle. So it's been a pretty long and amazing ride. I've kind of been now considered an expert on ancient civilizations and aerospace technology, and also space programs that are behind the scenes, private and secret space programs. And I've been on the History Channel, the Travel Channel, Discovery Channel, the Science Channel, Gaia TV, Dame Dash Studios TV, and now my own TV platform, 4bidden Knowledge TV.
Well, that's a lot, man. You gave us a lot of good information. If I may dibble and dabble into the story just for a bit. Now, when you first saw that vehicle and that vessel, did anyone else, was anyone there, or you were just there all by yourself, the only one to see it?
Yeah, I was the only one to see it. I was just out in my backyard. Typically I go out in the backyard most of the time because we could only go so far in the front of the house because the crime was so bad. We had a small gate, and my mother said, you can't go past that end of the gate and that end of the gate. So there's nothing much to do in front of the house. So I just go in the backyard, and we live next to a private airport. So I would just watch the planes go over. I was back there flipping around in the grass, doing kid stuff. There was no TV. We didn't have cable TV. We had 4 channels back then in the 70s. We had no cable TV, no cell phones, no peepers, pagers, no tablets, no all-day Cartoon Network. None of that stuff existed. So you had to be creative. You had to go outside and play. So I was outside playing in the backyard, watching the airplanes go over, by myself.
Man, that's deep right there. Now I often heard, give me your breakdown of it, because I often heard that when you see, of course, when they say extraterrestrial, is this something extra that they may have, extra height, extra brain power, things of that nature, like you already know, because of the gravity that's here on this planet Gaia, Earth, that we call. Are aliens, are there, or extraterrestrials, are they spirit? Do they drive spiritual vessels or physical vessels? What's the difference between the two? Because I heard an argument where some people argue both of them back and forth.
Well, this universe is so amazing and so vast. What we're finding out now in the private space industry, because I also own a private space agency called First Class Space, and the interesting thing about it is you discover that there are multiple hypotheses, but also some direct knowledge of these objects. Now, the direct knowledge is that these are physical third-dimensional vehicles that are flying in third-dimensional space-time in this universe, traveling between planets, and even some traveling between star systems, some even traveling between galaxies. So we have intergalactic, interplanetary, extraterrestrials. And then we also have what we call multidimensionals, or extra dimensionals. And these are beings that live in higher dimensions that have the capability of phase shifting their subatomic structure to match the frequency of this universe. So we know now in quantum physics and theoretical physics and supersymmetry, we know that our universe is comprised of 11 stacked dimensions. So there's 11 dimensions that create this universe. So it's not just what we see here in this third dimension. There's actually more dimensions up and above us. The first dimension obviously is a line. The second dimension is actually connected lines, making two-dimensional objects on a piece of paper. We're in the third, and then it just keeps going up. But what we now know is that there's life in these dimensions. And even us, if we can develop the technology to identify the exact frequency of a specific dimension above us, we'd be able to step right into it, because the dimensions are literally stacked and packed so tightly together that they're right on top of each other in a 90-degree angle, right above and stacked all the way up to number 11. So it's pretty amazing.
Wow, man, that's really deep. That's a lot to process. I used to look at this show back in the day. It was called Sliders, and they were talking about the multiple Earths. So for the people that may not know, when we say dimension and we say inner Earth traveling, can you break it down just a little bit for the people that may be a little bit lost? They may say, okay, I'm trying to grasp it, but I don't get it. When you say different dimensions, break it down just a little bit more for us, if you don't mind.
Well, there's two ways of looking at it. One is we live in a multiverse. This is something a little bit different, or parallel universe, where we have this Earth with its 11 dimensions, and there's another Earth with another 11 dimensions, and these are all really inside of their own individual universes. So in the multiverse, there are multiple universes. Matter of fact, they believe that we're living in a sea of universes, and we're just one bubble of trillions, or maybe even Googles, which is a number. Google is actually a number, and Googles of these actual universes, just floating around in this vast, endless sea of universes. And so in the multiverse, from a subatomic or quantum physical level, we understand that everything that can happen will happen, right? So everything that you would have done today and didn't do is being done in that exact specific way in other Earths in the multiverse, because we know that everything exists in superposition of each other, which means that everything exists as a multiple of potentials. And this collapsed potential that we're experiencing right now, where I'm actually talking to you through this device and we're communicating back and forth and we're on this meeting call right now, this is a collapsed potential. But before this actual call happened, there was a multitude of potentials that could have happened. I could have not made the appointment. I could have been stuck in traffic. I could have canceled and rescheduled. In some other realities, we never even got this booking, and so we never got on the call at all. And so, but all these realities actually exist in the multiverse. So somewhere all the possibilities are actually playing themselves out in real time. So you have the multiverse, and then in dimensional, when you're talking about stacked dimensions, in this universe. We're talking about the fact that it's this one universe, but this universe consists of 11 different dimensions, and each dimension is almost like a whole another universe stacked within itself. So it's really amazing.
Wow, it's dope and deep at the same time to me. Always been curious